त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Lynn, and tonight we have Vara here as well, who's going to tell us all a little bit about, well, a bit later on at least, about the Swadhisthana Centre and our attention. So we'll pass on to that a bit later. But first, Vara, you're going to tell us about Sahaja Yoga and take everyone through their initiation into Sahaja Yoga, you could say.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to the program. So we are from Canberra, Australia. It's about 6 p.m. here. And thank you for making the time to come up to the program. So you'll notice there is a chart behind me in the background there. So what it is a system, is quite a sophisticated system, which you'll see in a sec.
In fact, you'll see now.
Okay, so that's quite a sophisticated system with what we call the energy centers or the chakras, and also 3 channels. You'll see 3 channels there, center, left, and right. So now we're born with this, and many of us, unless you have come here before, you would know what it is. But it's very innate to us. It has existed in a man, in a human being forever.
Hello.
Hi, come on in.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, that's okay. Welcome.
I was going around the building.
So I was saying about the subtle system we have in the chart.
I'll be the pointer person.
Yes. So this system has existed in a human being forever. Now the reason why it is important is that it helps us reach our full potential. So in the Eastern cultures, people used to find a guru, and this guru would take a select few, go through the system of Gurukul, and then they would understand what these things are on a very theoretical level. So once they understand what it is on a theoretical level, then the guru would teach to that little group on how to reach the state of meditation. And in Sanskrit, it's called yoga. Yoga quite literally means the union of our soul with the all-pervading power. Now, out of that group, select few would get it. And sometimes they would meditate for years before they are blessed with that knowledge. So all that changed with the advent of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi in the 1970s. She started it as a movement. At a time when spirituality was being taken for a ride by people with commercial and nefarious intentions. So what she did is she flipped the paradigm. So you don't really need to go to the forest to understand what that system is to learn meditation. So what she did is anybody, absolutely anybody, whoever, it doesn't matter whether they come from an educational background or non-educational background, what their past was, for everyone it was open. So they, with their only one requirement is that human being in their own free will had to come and ask for it. That was the only requirement. So she went around the world. The majority of the time was spent in England to start with, and of course India, and she used to travel all over the world explaining what it is. So the system works like this. So you come with a pure desire, and then you go through a process called self-realization that she taught. So in the beginning, she was there doing it live. And people like us, myself, Lynn, Surendra is in the background, Kay. People like us, we would simply pass it on. What happened though was in the middle, someone suggested to Shri Mataji that in the Americas everything is patented and you could make a bit of money out of it. And she laughed at the idea and she said, that's a bit silly because it's very innate. So how could you charge money for it? It's like the air you breathe, it's like the light you get, you don't pay for it. So it's the same thing. All I'm doing is explaining you that you can get it. So if you have the pure desire, then what we do is go through the process of self-realization. For that, all you have to do is take your shoes off. If you have socks, that's fine. And then put your feet on the ground and your hands on the lap.
Maybe we can come back to the people on the video screen so we can see what you're doing.
Yes. So just zoom out, and you'll see
Here
the
we go.
steps I'm going to do. Yes. So hands are sitting on the lap. You can take the glasses off if you have any tightly held watches or handbands or whatever. Just relax yourself. By the way, these are all not requirements. These are basically for physical comfort. They're not constricting you in any way. We put both our hands on the lap, feet on the ground. I'll explain you what I'm going to do with eyes open, and then we'll do that with eyes closed. But whatever I'm going to say now, you don't have to remember it because all of this will be repeated. So we'll sit straight. What you need to remember is for this process, your left hand doesn't move. That is the channel of desire, and the right hand is the channel of action. With the channel of the action, you're going to do certain things through the channel of desire. So first is we'll put our right hand on the heart, and then we'll move it to the rib cage on the left side, and then we put our hand where our leg meets the tummy, and then we go back to the rib cage on the left side and the heart, and then the center of the palm touches the left side of the neck from the front. Yeah, and then we move our head towards our right shoulder. We stretch it a little bit. And then we put the center of the palm on the forehead and bend a bit forward. And then we place our right hand on top of the head. So these are the steps we do. So now try not to open your eyes at all. Only open them if you're not sure where the hand should touch, where the right hand should touch. Otherwise, try and keep your eyes closed. Take a few deep breaths. You can hold your breath for a few seconds and then breathe out. So do that for a few times before we start the process. And remember, the prerequisite for everything that follows is that you have a pure desire. So in your heart, you come here to better yourself in ways that you may or may not understand at the moment. So with our right hand, we put the right hand on our heart. And we ask ourselves a very fundamental question. Sincerely, we ask in our own hearts several times. So every statement that I say, please repeat in your heart several times. And you can use any language you like. You can translate what I'm saying into your mother tongue if it feels much more authentic that way. Mother, who am I? Mother, who am I? So when we say mother, we are addressing Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi in the photograph, as she is the guru who holds the key to this knowledge. Mother, who am I? Now we move our right hand to the left rib cage. And we ask another seemingly simple yet profound question. Mother, am I my own guru? Mother, am I my own master? Now we bring our right hand on the left side where the tummy meets the leg. And with absolute sincerity, we ask several times. You ask as many times you require. Mother, by your grace, please give me pure knowledge. Mother, please give me the knowledge of the roots. Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Let that request sink in your own heart. Once again, if you ask with sincerity and pure desire, you will be gifted this knowledge. You put your right hand back on the ribcage, and with full confidence, you say, Mother, I am my own Guru. Mother, I am my own Guru. Put your right hand on the heart. Again, we say, full confidence, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Often we confuse our identity with the roles that we fulfill in our life. But if you take away all the superficial layers, we are the purest form, like when we were born. And that is being the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Now we put our right hand on the left side of the neck, move our head towards the right shoulder, stretch a little bit. Then we say, Mother, I'm not guilty at all. Mother, I detach myself from all the mistakes that I may have done in the past. Mother, at this present moment, I am not guilty at all. We put our hand on the forehead and bend forward a little bit, expressing your humility to accept this gift. And here we say a very important affirmation or prayer, you can say. We say, Mother, I forgive. I forgive everyone, including myself. Say this several times in your heart. It sounds like a bunch of words, but they're quite profound. Because many times we are beating ourselves, but not forgiving ourselves, and also spending time being annoyed with others. So from the bottom of your hearts, with complete sincerity, say, Mother, I forgive everyone, including myself. Mother, I forgive everyone, including myself. You put your right hand on top of the head, press it down gently. Just be conscious of the area where you're pressing, it's the fontanelle bone. Physically, this is the area that is closest to God. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Ask this several times in your heart with humility and sincerity. Mother, please give me my self-realization. And in your heart, you ask, Mother, please help me keep my attention on top of my head. With your attention staying on top of your head, you can slowly bring your hand down onto your lap. So now you are sitting straight with both your hands in your laps, palms facing upwards, eyes closed. Let's sit quietly in this position for a few minutes. Every time you hear a noise, you just do the prayer that we said, Mother, please keep me in meditation. While your eyes are closed, just observe if you are feeling any sensations on your fingertips or in the middle of the palm or on top of your head. If you like, you can take your hand a little bit above the top of your head and check. You can first do it with your right hand and then you can bring that hand down and then try it with the other hand. You may feel a subtle breeze above your head. So generally, two things can happen. One is you feel a cool breeze. The other thing that can happen is you feel a little bit of a warm sensation in your arms and on top of the head. So when you feel the cool breeze, the motherly energy within you, which is a reflection of God Almighty, has started to flow in you. If you're feeling a bit of a warm breeze, the same motherly energy is trying to clear something. So what it is, we'll have a little chat now as you slowly open your eyes and bring both your hands close at your heart. So this is basically you're coming into balance symbolically. So if you now look at the chart, so I'll ask you, like, how did you feel?
Little cold breeze.
On your palms or on the head? On the head. Okay. So for the benefit of the ones who are in the online, we'll explain you the chart a little bit. So what I said is the subtle system is a sophisticated system of energy centers and the channels. So the inner workings of it there are treatises behind it, but thanks to Shri Mataji, she explained in a very common man kind of language. So you have the mother Kundalini at the bottom of the spine that Lynn is showing. So there is that, we call it the sacrum bone. It's in the triangular shape. Inside that, there is this 3.5 coils, which we call Mother Kundalini. So that motherly energy is a reflection of God Almighty in every human being. Now then you might ask, well, if God Almighty is reflected in every human being, why do some people do crazy stuff? That's probably because, there is levels of crazy. But the main reason is that their connection with the God Almighty is broken. Now, in very simple terms, what the process of self-realization does is that connection is re-established. And it does not really matter what you did until the time that you got to realization, because you're not judged at all for that. So after the self-realization, after you, with your pure desire, you ask Shri Mataji, that motherly energy rises against the gravity. She goes up, goes through all those energy centers. And when it reaches the top there, above that, so that is another, number 6 is an interesting one, because usually we are beating ourselves up or busy, annoyed with others, then the Kundalini cannot rise. But if the Kundalini can help, then it goes up, and that's when you feel the cool breeze. And there are again different levels of feeling coolness. And that again depends on the Kundalini is like a high-powered internet curve. You'll have a lot of optical fibers kind of thing. So when more strands raise, the coolness in on top of the head is stronger. Now, why do we feel warm? When you'll also notice there is a system of fingertips, the numbers there, and then these numbers correspond to the energy centers. So for some reason, because of the day or because of your nature, if some energy center is out of balance, if we take number 4 is an easier to explain one. So you might be a very loving and compassionate person, but you still may have had an argument with your boss, and then let's say you come here. You're probably not in a very loving and compassionate mode. And that kind of shock, that'll get that center into out of balance. And because we have requested the Kundalini to rise, the Kundalini will try and clear the problems in number 4, which you may feel pretty physically on your little finger. So every energy center has a similar explanation. And when that clearing is happening, it comes out of as heat. So people who have felt coolness at this moment may feel a bit warm when they're meditating on their own, which is quite normal. Now, the other rare thing is that people feel nothing when they come to the session. That probably just means that their Kundalini needs a bit more time. And the reason these 3 things can happen is nobody can force your Kundalini to act in a certain way. She has her own mind, and it really depends on your desire. So that's the technical explanation. I'd say as technical as it can get and as I can explain. But what happens on a regular basis is when you meditate, these energy centers get stronger, the Kundalini gets stronger. So the heat goes away, and then you feel that coolness. So in that coolness, then there is a state of thoughtlessness. So you're meditating. And would you say, sorry, I didn't grab your name.
No, Venkata.
Hi, Venkata. So would you say, Venkata, is when you reach that coolness, did your thoughts stop even for a few seconds?
I think so, yes.
So that happens because you get into the present moment. So you're not thinking about the past and the future. And then that's when it feels like there are no thoughts.
Yes.
Usually we end up spending too much time. And now when you go back, you don't stay in that state, you escalate. But when you meditate regularly, that staying in the present moment does increase. And then There are a lot of aspects. So one aspect is attention. So Sahaja Yoga is like this. It's like an onion with a lot of layers. And the least, the way I look at it is, that topmost layer, which you almost throw away.
I just get the camera changed.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
There we are.
So,
See you now, Lara.
that's right. So I was saying that Sahaja Yoga is like a different things in Sahaja Yoga are like different layers of an onion. And the least important I feel is the relaxation. Relaxation is almost a side benefit. I find it funny that in a lot of techniques, they focus so much on relaxation. You can get relaxed by taking a pill, but then that's not a very a core thing. So it just goes away. So now you're relaxed. In 5 minutes, you may not be relaxed if you get a phone call. So that is not very fundamental. So as you open the layers, the layer in the middle is the seed, where we'll talk about it on another day. But one of the layers you could call a middle layer is attention. So Shri Mataji will talk about attention today, which is related to the energy center number 2, which is that's good. You could show it. Yeah. So number 2 is the energy center of it's called Swadhisthana. So Swadhisthana is the center about attention. So one way I can explain attention, I can try is, some days we are off and we don't even know we're off. We're going and shouting at people. We're doing, we're missing a bus. It starts to pile up, and usually it's a gravy train. Something doesn't work in the morning, wake up and bump your head into the door or something, your cupboard is open and you had a little bit bleeding. You go to work, something was supposed to happen, it happened. But then we are so involved in it, first is something upsetting happens, and then you get a little bit annoyed. And then you contribute to that second failure. And then it keeps happening. And then by evening, you probably want to, strangle someone. But if the Swadhisthana center is doing its job, first you recognize that that something is not right. And that only happens, I think that recognition only happens when your attention is good. Because days will be bad some days. Even if you meditate for 1,000 years on a mountain, 1,001 day, and still go bad for whatever reason, for external reasons. So when our Swadhisthana chakra opens, you're really aware of these things. That was on a bad day example. On a good day, what happens is, because your attention is so good, anything that you do on a mundane level, work level, family level, things happen much faster. So I'm into IT. So on a good day, like when I had my meditation practices well and stuff, then when I code, the coding is whatever I write first time just works. So my testing can reduce quite a lot. And that is mundane example. You have any other examples, Lynn, of attention, good attention doing magic?
Let me think of something.
I just thought of something.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Go, I'll think of something after.
When there are lots of painters, your Leonardo da Vinci's and what's the Dutch guy that looks like my father-in-law?
Oh, who cut off his ear and
yeah, that's okay. What's his name again? Van Gogh. These guys, you look at their painting, even if you're not an artist, you look at it and you can't take your eyes off, because there is something they put in it that even with no background in art and so on, you just get attracted. So like this Bismillah Khan is one Shehnai player. You don't need to know about him, nothing. And the guy plays, and it takes you in a very meditative state. And you could say that when these people are doing those things, their attention was totally and absolutely on God. Their only work is to please.
Yeah.
Nothing about, I can do this, Shehnai, like better than 100 other people, or my painting might sell for $2 million, then I'll be rich. These guys are totally detached from that sort of stuff. And I think we can, in a certain way, reach to that level.
And it's good to experiment, in fact, by listening. Like if you listen to classic FM, you listen to all the different music, some just take you there. And there's a special vibration about it that just makes you thoughtless, and then something else, you'll go down again.
And Lin just used the word vibration. You can equate that vibration to the cool breeze that you experienced. You would be listening to this and then your AC might be off, but you can feel that, man, there's something happening. And that is the power of that. We call it the divine attention, maybe. That's what you say. And there are different aspects that I don't want to foretalk what Shri Mataji is going to say, but you'll realize way more deeper things when Shri Mataji talks. So let's listen to Shri Mataji's talk.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're listening,
yourselves, keep talking while I do my technical.
Yeah. So when you're listening to Shri Mataji's talk, the way again is put your hands in a receiving position, as we call, just hands on the lap, both feet on the ground, and just watch. Is it a video?
Yes.
Yes. And you just watch.
Get that ready for you. 1 second.
Chirag actually is my colleague. He told about this, so that's how I'm here.
Oh, nice. That's
We'll
excellent.
talk after the end of the program.
Yeah. So we've
So this center, that is what we call the Swadhisthana center, is a center that gives you your future energy, to think of your future, your planning, which gives you energy to bring forth the manifestation of the physical labor or physical exercise or physical work. This poor center has to work for one work, to convert the fat for the use of the brain. Now, if one center which has to do many other things starts doing only one work, all other things are neglected. As a result of that, you develop problems because it has to cater to your liver, to your pancreas, to your kidneys, to your spleen. And once it goes into action for one channelized work, it gets programmed for it. And then it cannot take care of these things. That's how you develop a bad liver. You develop a diabetes, kidney trouble, blood pressures. Also, you develop a very serious disease called blood cancer. Now, Sahaja Yoga can cure all these troubles. It's only physical. But it can cure even physical troubles, because if this center is brought to its normal behavior, if it is made to behave in a very normal way, you can easily cure all such diseases which come out of your overactivity, overthinking, over-imaginativeness. It's a very dangerous thing to always think about the future. For example, now we are here sitting down, we should be comfortably sitting down and talking to each other. Instead of that, now we are thinking, what am I going to go do tomorrow, or what am I going to do when I go home, how am I going to cook, what am I going to eat, or how I'm going to take my train. All these futuristic behaviors lead you to a very funny personality. You become so futuristic that you forget the past. I met a gentleman who forgot even his own name. He forgot the name of his father, he forgot the name of his mother, and also, to the dismay of his wife, her name. And she started crying. She said, now what to do? He's forgotten everything. Now he is in a futuristic area. He just knows the future. Then he was to be pushed back again into the center. Then gradually he started remembering. Then he told me that he's chairman of one of the councils of a big district place in India. And he said, he was. He said, no, I am. I said, that's good. That's better. Now you are in that state where you say, I am. So this is what happens. And this is what's going to happen to our societies here, which is very futuristic. So to cut it down, One can try anything. You may try anything. For example, you may show pictures of the past and things like that, but that is not going to bring back the horse. It's running very fast. The only thing that can work it out is the awakening of the Kundalini. When the Kundalini awakens itself, she makes the center enlightened, and the center itself resumes its normal shape, its normal behavior, and its normal condition. Apart from that, it has got a dynamic power or manifestation that this center which looks after our attention becomes enlightened, and our attention becomes enlightened, and the attention which is enlightened becomes dynamic. In the sense now, sitting down here, you can pay attention to anyone, just pay attention. You don't have to do anything. Just pay attention to that person and you can find out on your fingertips what's the matter with the person. Thousands of miles he may be. When Nixon was having trouble, suddenly, I don't know, I said, find out about Nixon, how is he? And they said, Ma, he's in a terrible mess. Christ has said, your hands will speak. That's the time has come. These hands, which look so simple, but they are so intricate and so intricately built that the nerve endings are so microscopic that we cannot understand how much they can tell us, how far they can go. When the awakening takes place, you start feeling the vibrations around you, the all-pervading power which you have never felt before, through these fingertips which we neglect, we misuse them, we use them for wrong things. These fingertips themselves get enlightened and you start feeling them. That's what I said, that you have to get your awareness which is enlightened. It's the awareness which has to manifest. And that's how you start feeling them on your fingers. It's wrong here, it's wrong there. You can see where is the problem. Now all these are related to your centers. These are 5, 6 and 7. 7 on the left and 7 on the right. So this is about your emotional side and this is about your right. About your physical and your rational, or you can say mental side. So you can make out a person how he is by just knowing whether you are getting heat from that person, whether you are getting burning from that person, whether they are getting numb, whether they are becoming heavy. And a rapport is established with the all-pervading power which informs you, get the messages. And the messages are so correct that even if you have 10 children who are realized souls, there are many children these days are born as realized souls. We don't understand children these days, but these days they are great children and they are born today because the time has come. This is the time of judgment time. This is the time of resurrection. This is the time about which people have described in all the scriptures.
Now let's close our eyes. Hands on the lap. Let's take our right hand and put it on top of the head. Press it down. Mother, please help me to keep my attention on top of my head. When you're ready and you feel that your attention is settled on top of your head, bring the hand back to the lap. Put your right hand on your heart. Say, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Let's put our right hand on the place where the leg meets the tummy. Mother, please give me pure knowledge so I can learn how to observe my chakras on the fingertips. Mother, please give me pure knowledge so I can learn to pay attention to my chakras. The right hand on the forehead. Mother, please give me the wisdom to forgive myself and others. You can bring your hand back to the lap. Attention as always on Sahasrara, which is the top of the head. And let's just enjoy that silence quietly. Every time a thought tries to disturb you, you ask Shri Mataji, Mother, please keep me in meditative state. Mother, please keep me in meditative state. While our eyes are closed, let's once again observe the sensations, if any, on our fingertips, on the palms, and on top of the head. Mother, please help me stay in my thoughtless awareness. Slowly open your eyes and repeat these little movements of hands that I'll show you. So this is what we do when we start and when we finish meditation. It's probably easier like that. So your left hand stays in front and right hand goes around. You can do it with me. Left is in the front and right goes around. Inside out, yeah. So you go up and tie a knot on top. Sorry, go there. Tie a knot on top. Do that again. Make 2 knots. Do that again, last time. And make 3 knots on top of the head. So that symbolizes tying the Kundalini above your head. And then with your left hand on the lap, right hand over your left hand, you make a semicircle. So that counts as 1. Going back is 1. Now you do that 6 more times. So in total, 7 times. 2, 3, 'So what we did there was raising our Kundalini, tying it up, and then giving ourselves a protection. So usually before we get out of the house, we do that. When we start meditation, we do that. When we finish meditation, we do that.
And even if any time you're feeling like you're constricted or
Drained.
low or something, you can even just do it. And it feels so nice. Shortcut of doing realization.
That's all we had for this evening.
Yeah.
If the onliners have any questions, mute yourself, shoot away.
You can unmute or you can put a message in the
Chat.
In the chat. Let me just make sure I've got that open. Stop sharing the music. Yeah, so you can message. Venkat, you can actually speak.
Do you have any questions, Venkata?
Yeah, actually what I'm looking for is how to get that our true spirit to the Ishvara. That's the main thing I'm looking for.
Wow, wonderful.
So whatever is required, happy to practice.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I mean, after this class, what we should be doing on a regular basis. So if you can explain.
We'll do. So,
did everyone hear that Venkat's question? It was such a good question.
So you want to repeat? Yeah.
Repeat, Venkat.
So his question, I think, was his goal is to connect that spirit inside us to Ishvara, which in Sanskrit is the all-pervading divine power. And he's happy to do whatever is required to do, and then how to get there. That's probably the deepest we got.
Yeah, I think everyone's feeling that nowadays.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah, it's in the air.
And I've been seeing there's 21 days groups because there's some meditations every day starting next week. And some of the questions already, before the people have started, have been deep like that, what you've got, Venkat. So I think the universe is calling.
The question is interesting. It's been written in a lot of scriptures that is the ultimate goal in the Advaita philosophy, in different kinds of yogas. So then the question to ask is, how do we know? Sometimes you may be connected, but how do you know? I can come and say, Venkata, you're connected, man. How would you know? The way we know it is the physical sensation that we have when we are meditating in that thoughtless awareness plus the vibrations. That I feel is the really physical signal that the connection has happened.
Yep.
Because otherwise you can go in circles on maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So going forward, we will tell you for the next week, all you do is raise your Kundalini, like we said. And probably for the next weeks, just allow that system, pay attention to the system on what signals it's giving you. So for example, if your Kundalini cannot raise to the Sahasrara and it is constricted because some energy center is not well, that connection cannot happen. So for the next week, perhaps raise your Kundalini and just observe on how what you're feeling on the fingers. When you sit in meditation. When I say when you sit in meditation, it's just exactly that posture. You can sit on the ground if you're comfortable. And then just keep your attention there and see if the fingers are speaking. And then we'll take it from there.
And Venkat, if you give us your phone number, we can add you to our WhatsApp group. And we post daily.
I'm already in the group.
Oh,
you're already in the group.
Wow.
I've seen your message.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yesterday or day before.
You have seen it.
Excellent.
And then I'm getting the message as well.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So we'll have a chat after the program.
Yeah. I think it's highly ambitious, but how to be with the Ishvara 24/7. So, and then be in that state. That's ultimate. This thing anyone
can aspire for.
And then how should we practice to get there?
I think the challenge for us is you have to be in your normal life as well, and then still be in that state.
Yeah, and your daily meditation doesn't have to be long, so you don't need to sit for hours or anything. 10 minutes, and if you hit there, you're totally refreshed. So keep it short and get there. I mean, if it takes you an hour to get there, okay, so be it. But just get there.
And sometimes it gets like that. Sometimes it takes longer time to get that state of no thoughts. But so far I didn't get the structured one. So it's like, you can do that, concentrate on your breath and things like that. But that vibration or that feeling, joy and all that, not there yet. So I want to...
It'll come, we'll give you...
Now that you've got your connection, it'll come, definitely.
I think as a bare minimum is the regularity of it. So it's like that, it's not an exam that you can pass if you cram the day before the exam. So you got to be regular with it. And then it will be there.
Yes.
Have you got any questions? Surrender on the online? No. All right. So we'll call it a day.
All right, we will. I can leave some music on for the online people if they want to continue meditating.
Sorry, one more question.
Yes.
Because I'm generally a bit tired and lethargic. As I mentioned to Chirag, also my colleague, he's doing, I think, for quite some time. He said, there's some people like that. So how to get out of that? So that's another.
So I think going forward, we'll tell you about some practices called foot soaking and so on. That usually takes it out.
Okay.
So, and again, it's probably too much detail in the first week, but basically you have the 3 channels we said, right? Left, right, and center. When your left is a little bit tired, when the left channel is a bit out of balance, that's when you sort of pulls you into the left hand. But there are some very simple processes that you can follow that will help with that. It shouldn't be a problem at all.
Thank you.
Such an authority about this.
Yes.
Yes.
I was asking, he joined recently with parents. And since 1 week or so, we have this. So said, yeah, you can try this. And
Yes.
yeah, he showed that. I didn't feel last time when he was talking about that cold and this thing. But when I did, I could feel a bit.
Today? Yes.
And yeah.
There's also something called the